2026 is starting off strong with the sequel releases, but there's also several new series to dig your teeth into and some standalones that look very interesting as well. Today, we're looking at 8 releases coming out across the month of January, but every week we do the new releases video that dives into more books and different genres that are coming out that specific week. I'm Morgan. If this is your first time here, I really hope you enjoy this and you'll come back for more videos. Starting out on the week of January 6th, we have Rings of Fate by Melissa de la Cruz. This is the first in the Curses and Crowns series. Now, I had heard about this from a few other places as well, but what caught my eye was how the author herself described it in a post on her website from last year. She said, "It's the Princess Bride meets Wheel of Time in an epic romantasy where a sharp-tongued barmaid and an infuriatingly handsome prince agree to a fake engagement to stop a deadly magical power." Irene Bellamore has no interest in being anyone's princess. She's too busy running the Raven's Beak Tavern and fending off unwanted marriage proposals and dreaming of escape. But when a brush with the death and a dangerously handsome stranger event her life, Irene finds herself bound to a bargain that could change everything. Prince Dighton has carried the rings of cursed fate, ancient weapons of devastating power, since childhood. The magic is killing him, and the enemies are closing in. To make the journey to reverse his curse, he needs a bride to hide his secrets. Arin wants freedom. Pretending to be his fiancée should give them both what they want. Very still intriguing sounding. It is. It's definitely a reverse thing. Like, she is not in it because she wants to be a princess or anything. She just wants to get out of her barmaid life. And they're going to go on an adventure. Also coming out this week is more of a thriller, The Storm by Rachel Hawkins. St. Medard's Bay, Alabama is famous for three things: deadly hurricanes that regularly sweep into town, the Rosalie Inn, a century-old hotel that survived every one of those storms, and Lo Bailey, the local girl infamously accused of the murder of her lover, political scion Landon Fitzroy, during Hurricane Marie in 1984. When Geneva Corliss, the current owner of Rosalie Inn, hears a writer is coming to town to research the crime that put St. Maynard's Bay on the map, she's less interested in solving a whodunit than in how a successful true crime book might help the struggling inn's bottom line. With him is none other than Lo Bailey herself, though, as she's returned to her hometown to clear her name once and for all. But the closer Geneva gets to both Lo and August, the more she wonders if Lo is actually back to settle old scores. So a very interesting mystery thriller, and of course there will be elements that play out. I want to see how this one's going to go. The last one, I could kind of call what was happening, but I have enjoyed most of Rachel Hawkins' thriller books, so I'm intrigued. Moving to the next week of January 13th, we have Detour by Jeff Rake and Rob Hart. Ryan Crane wasn't looking for trouble, just a cup of coffee, but when this cop spots a gunman emerging from an unmarked van, he leaps into action and unknowingly saves John Ward, a billionaire with presidential aspirations, from an assassination attempt. As thanks for Ryan's quick thinking, Ward offers him the chance of a lifetime to join a group of lucky civilians chosen to accompany 3 veteran astronauts on a first manned mission to Saturn's moon Titan. But as the ship is circling Titan, it is rocked by an unexplained series of explosions. The crew works together to get back on course, and they return to Earth as heroes. But when the fanfare dies down, Ryan and his fellow astronauts notice that things are different. Before the group can connect, mysterious figures start tailing them, and their communications are scrambled. I hope that alone didn't give too much away, but just saying that they return to Earth as heroes, then what's the story? I don't know. It was very hard to narrow down what to say about that one. Then we have an urban fantasy that is the start of a new series, City of Others by Jared Poon. In the sunny city of Singapore, the government takes care of everything, even the weird stuff. Benjamin Toh is a middle manager in the Division of Engagement of Unusual Stakeholders, DIOS, and his job is straightforward: keep the supernatural inhabitants of Singapore happy and keep them out of sight. But when an entire housing estate glitches out of existence on what was meant to be a routine check-in, Ben has to scramble to keep things under control and stop the rest of the city from disappearing. He may not have the budget or the bandwidth, but he is the best, if highly irregular and supernaturally inclined team to help him. It's supposed to be a found family, workplace found family, friends sorts of situation. Then coming out on January 20th is one that is on so many people's lists and many people are looking forward to: 12 Months by Jim Butcher, the next book in the Dresden Files. Harry Dresden, Chicago's only professional wizard, has always managed to save the day, but can he save himself? As it said, Harry Dresden is a professional wizard, so this is an urban fantasy. Wizards are common, but not actually out in the open. So most people still don't know about the supernatural and magic. But he practices as a detective for hire in Chicago to pay his bills and gets into lots of hijinks. And he works with the police. And it does seem that it goes from more police mystery fantasy into more and more mystical as the books go along. I'm only at book 6 though, so I can't say super much. And I didn't even want to read the description for this one for spoilers of myself. Also coming out that week though is possibly the standalone. It is a dark fantasy though. It is A Realm Undone by J.L. Leonhardt. Centuries ago, mortals split the realm into two, with the magical veil placed firmly between them and their immortal rulers, the Tyrkons. Fueled by stolen magic, the mortal kingdoms flourished, but the Tykarans never stopped trying to reclaim their magic and mortal subjects. And now, generations later, the veil between the realms has begun to tear, letting immortal monsters ravage across the nations and threaten all the mortals have built. Alina Mindor would happily have watched the mortal kingdoms buckle as long as she could keep herself and her teenage daughter, Lena, alive. But when the treatment for Lena's illness comes along with the royal order to defend Mandal, with the same magic they once spurned, Alina is caught between protecting the one person she loves and the reckoning she's long desired. As the balance between realms shifts, Alina has to decide if her realm is worth saving or if all needs to be undone. She has a very dangerous magic, it seems. And I like that it's an older character, I guess. It's not old, but I mean, it's a mom character. I like that. She's the powerful one. She's the main character. We'll see how it plays out. Then on January 27th, we have Sister Savantgarde and the Not Quite Dead Yet by K.J. Parker. It is an adventure fantasy that is the first in the Loyal Opposition trilogy. Not even the Church of the Invincible Sun is invincible, and somebody has to do its dirty work. Enter Sister Savantgarde and her accompanying priest, both first-rate practitioners. Their mission is simple: to make a meddlesome princess disappear permanently. To get her, they must attend the legendary Ecumenial Council, the once-in-a-century convening of the greatest spiritual minds the world has to offer. But when they arrive, they find instead a den of villainy that would make the most hardened criminal blush. I should have really learned to say that word between the last time I had to say it and this time, but I didn't. It sounds fun and amusing. It sounds funny, even though I don't know if it's going to be a humorous book. It gives that vibe to me. Our final book is a science fiction, Halcyon Years by Alistair Reynolds. Yuri Gagarin is a private investigator who picks up small cases from his local community, runs into trouble with the local police, and generally ekes out a living as best he can. He's aboard the Halcyon, a starship hurtling through space carrying thousands of passengers, with thousands more sleeping the journey away. He's hired by a mysterious woman called Ruby Red to look into a death in one of Halcyon's most elite families, and then warned off the case again by a second mysterious woman called Ruby Blue. Caught between the two, he's about to be embroiled in a murder mystery in which at any moment he could be the latest victim. Interesting. Very interesting sounding. We've reached the end of our January list, and while it feels like I sped around to get here, there was only 8 titles. I have a limited amount of time to film this in, so maybe the feeling's all in my head. Maybe, though, you'll find something that you wanted to put on your January or future TBR list on this video. You liked it, and you'll come back for more of the weekly new releases and other future videos. I just hope you're finding something great to read today, staying warm or cool, depending on your climate, and you'll come back so I can see you in the next video.